Oh, friends, we're live. Welcome. My name's Andrew. This is Code Gets Creative. On this channel, we do all sorts of creative coding. We've been on a real Screeps kick for the last several streams, and we're going to keep doing that today. This time around, we're going to be doing combat, which I'm very excited about. I've been wanting to get to this for a while, and this time I think we're all set up to do it. And we're gonna, in particular, we're gonna be doing a harassing strategy. So the idea behind this is gonna be when we want to invade a room, it might already have a tower or maybe many towers. It might have a bunch of energy built up. And so just doing like a front-on assault is gonna be really costly and maybe not really possible because I might end up losing all my creeps before I can even get close enough to do enough damage. So the idea of the harassing strategy is really kind of a siege where I'll send in a bunch of really tough creeps, absorb a bunch of damage, but then retreat before they die and heal in the next room over and then come back and just rinse and repeat. Just do it over and over and over again. And the idea is that, you know, healing is free, but firing from turrets costs energy. And so the idea is if I can just sustain the siege on an automated basis in a really like clean and efficient way, eventually, hopefully, as long as my enemy doesn't figure out a clever way to like chase me back out and like totally destroy it all, then my hope is that eventually I'll be able to just wear down my opponent, use up all their energy, you know, dry out the energy that's in their towers. And then I can do a second phase of the invasion where I go and destroy the towers, like knock out all the defenses, and take over the room from there. So there's no way that we can do all that in like a single session, but what we can get started with is kind of a basic, like let's make a harasser roll that can move between rooms, and we're going to unit test this strategy by creating a special creep roll whose sole purpose is to attack my own creeps and to basically simulate an enemy. I already have a little bit of code written for the harassers. We're gonna need to rewrite it to kind of beef it up. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. It should be cool. Let's jump into it. So we got the docs open. I don't have my code open yet, good heavens. Let's hurry and do that. Let's see. We'll pull that up. 1, 2, 3 clicks bigger. Let me know if you can't see this. I think this is what we've been streaming with so far, though. Screep spot. And actually, I have another window of this running. Let me just make sure. Yeah, okay, that's turned off. Cool. So that's doing its thing. Let's open it up in our code editor. That's ready to go. And then let's fire up Steam. And that'll do its thing. So we'll do this harassing strategy. Should be cool. In just a minute, I'm going to show you the code that we already have. And I think one of the first things that we'll need to do is rewrite that code as a state machine, because I don't think we've done that just yet. Let's see, I should click a thing over here. There we go. Okay, so we're going to be doing all this on the private server. Just in case you haven't done this, like what you do, you go over here and click Start Server, and that's running an instance of, you know, the Screeps backend on your computer. There are better ways to do this involving Docker. I should eventually switch to those. I haven't had time to like set it up and test it because I don't think everybody wants to like sit and watch me figure that out on the stream. So in the meantime, we're gonna do this. Should be cool. And we'll go ahead and enter that server that is now running. So here's what the current state looks like on the server. You'll notice I own a few rooms in here. this is the first one. Expanded into here, expanded into here. And that was all using the directive system and the automatic exploration and expansion that we worked on in previous sessions. So that's all working really cool. This one in particular is important because it's pretty close to this enemy, Michaelbot. And Michaelbot does have a tower right there. It's looking very random in terms of how it places. Although maybe not. I think this might actually be along a checkerboard kind of a pattern. Yeah. Okay, yeah, it seems to be. I guess it's like, take a checkerboard, pick random dots inside of that, and that's where it ends up building its extensions. So like, cool. But anyway, this is something that we can go in and harass and test out this strategy. One thing I'm noticing in particular is like there are kind of two entrances from the south here. So let's see what it looks like from this other room. Yeah, look at how like the terrain here really kind of divides things. Oh hey, I spy GP. Hi, welcome. Good to have you here. Thanks for joining. How long have you been playing for? Let's see. So I played quite a bit 3 years ago, and really focused a bunch on kind of I don't know. I built up a. Oh, it's Marvin too. Hey, welcome. So yeah, I built up a bunch of stuff then. It was kind of semi-manual, semi-automatic, glass half full, glass half empty, whatever. At this point, I'm interested in trying to create a bot that's as automatic as possible. And I'm breaking that here and there to kind of like get cool stuff done, but that's kind of the idea. I want the bot to just run itself, and that's what I've been focusing on. Some of the things I've been doing recently are automated exploration, automated expansion. Let me show you as an example. I wrote up this command that I'm attaching onto the room prototype. So I can say room.debug exploration. And so this shows me just a quick table view of all the rooms that I know about so far. So you can see, let's see, some of these are owned by me, right? I own this room, I own this room, I own this room. There's a handful that are owned by like the invaders, right? And then you can see like a bunch of these are available. Like if I wanted to, I could go claim it. Looks like this one is a little far away from a homeroom, right? It's a distance, a travel distance of 3 rooms. It's a little further away. And then I can see this like cost. So it would like to build a spawn at this coordinate, and the travel cost to choosing that one is going to be right there. You should consider room visuals to display claimable rooms. Yes, you can render that from the world map, right? I think that's how that works. You can do this one. Yeah, I totally should. I've got some cool room visuals for like at the room level. But yeah, at the world level, it'd be really useful to visualize all that. Cool. Okay, so let's get started on some of this harasser stuff. I don't think we need to start with this room just yet. So maybe what we do instead is we do our unit testing that we were talking about. So let's just pick a room, and like let's maybe just spawn creeps from here, since we've already like it's a fairly high level at least, and so it'll be pretty quick to spawn more. And so maybe we say, let's see, we can go into here or here. Let's maybe say that we're harassing this room. So we'll pick that. The idea is that harassers will kind of pool up. They'll kind of rally right here, and then they'll enter this room. They'll drain the towers that hypothetically are in here. And then when they get wounded enough, they'll retreat back into the room they were in before and rinse and repeat, right? Because there'll be healers back there to bring them back to full health. So that's the idea there. Let's look at the code that we have so far to do that. Yeah, here are my friends doing this. Good, we got a little bit of storage saved up, so should be able to spawn pretty quickly. Let's see. So here is our harasser role. Yeah, yes. So we're not getting too clever yet in terms of like how we design the body of this. I think that's something that we could do. Basically, we want to say like eventually when we're at a pretty high level, we want to have like work pieces so that harassers can eventually dismantle enemy structures. In the meantime, we can fall back to this type of thing where we basically just move and have tough parts and just absorb damage, and that's it. Oh, hey, Scythe1. Scythe1? Not sure how to pronounce, sorry. So like quad squads split into duo of harasser plus healer pairs or something. Yeah, sort of like that. I think we could... there are a few different ways that we could do the model for this. So actually, I would love to get everybody's thoughts on this. And we should also fire up Excalibur so that we can diagram this. But yeah, there are a few different ways that we could do it, right? Like we could have pairs where one healer and one harasser like work together. We could also do it so that there's like a pool of healers and a pool of harassers, and they sort of load balance in terms of what they need to do. And I think we don't know what those numbers should be yet, and so I do kind of like that model. But yeah, we can figure that out. Let me know what you think in the chat. Okay, so we got that. And yeah, sure enough, this is not a state machine yet. So let me show you a... Oh, whoops. Let me show you another creep role that I wrote earlier called Room Monitor. And Room Monitor is intended to be like sort of manual for when we're testing things. But it uses a state machine. So you can see that it has a waiting state, a traveling state, and a monitoring state. So the idea is when it's waiting, it wants to receive some sort of monitor room. So you give it the name of the room that it should go monitor. Once it has that, it goes into a traveling state and goes to that room. And once it arrives in that room, then it just stays put and it's monitoring at that point. And if you end up changing the room that it should go monitor, then it'll switch back into a traveling role and travel to that new room. So that's how that works. So basically we want to have the same thing with harassers. So let's see. Yeah, and this has its own concept about retreating. This doesn't get referenced. Oh, maybe it does. Oh. Okay, so check this out. Notice how, by the way, my bot's written in TypeScript, so you'll see that we've got these interfaces. This is going to help us keep track of the memory that this role needs to be aware of, and what it needs to initialize, and how it changes between states. But you'll notice it gets exported so other modules can know about it. And the main module actually knows about this. So yeah, notice how creep memory has some kind of generic things, but then it also has role harasser, which may or may not exist. And I'm trying to get rid of this. I don't like that we have to, that we would hypothetically have to define like the type signature of like every possible role. So I've been in the kind of incremental process of removing these, and I'm trying to do that with actions as well. So you can see these two to-do comments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete that, save that. Oh, hey, and this also reminds me that I want to make sure my envar. Yeah, I can show you this. You don't need to not see this. So I've got a Webpack set up that can either automatically send my code to the MMO world, or else send it to my private server. So I just toggled from one to the other. Okay, so that's been switched. Now we need to run over to here, restart the server and we'll get the code sending to the new place. Wait for it. Okay, cool. So that's there. What is this complaining about now? Oh yeah, so we're no longer exporting that. That's cool. Okay, and then at this point we were ready to start rewriting this thing. So now we get to draw this out. This is the fun part. For those of you that are joining for the first time, super appreciate having you on the channel. One thing that you're going to learn very quickly about me and kind of my style of live coding is that I love kind of taking a break from, typing the code itself and focusing at kind of a higher level on like, what is it that we want to design, right? The design phase of the code. Because usually if we can get this stuff right, it's a lot easier to type out the code. And to be honest, when like the better we get at the coding part, the more like this stuff becomes kind of easier, and the harder problems are at this level. The problems kind of zoom out and like get larger in scope. And so, yeah, some thoughts there. So basically we want to design a state machine for our harasser role. So let's go ahead and diagram that out, harasser. So let's see. I think when the harasser very first spawns, it's going to already have an assignment. Yeah, maybe we shouldn't assume that. Let's say that it starts in a waiting state. So it's waiting to receive an order from the army. My Screeps bot has the concept of a central army, and any of the combat units, I want them to receive their orders from the army. So it's in a waiting state. When it receives an order, it should probably go. It should go travel into the room, not the room that it's harassing, but the room where it's going to rally. So let's maybe show what that looks like. We've got these two rooms, something like that. This is the harassing room. This is the healing room, and we'll kind of color code them to show that. In the healing room, or no, let's actually call it the rallying room. And that's because it's not just healing that gets done here, it's also like rallying before the push starts. And later on in the invasion, we won't just have harassers here and medics here, we'll also have like normal attackers that'll like charge in all at once and go and destroy everything. So we've got that idea. Somewhere back here is the homeroom, right? Okay, so I think what that means is we're gonna go from waiting to rallying. And that's where we're going from the homeroom. Let's color that blue. Yeah, so they're going from the homeroom to the rallying room, rally, and then harassing. Okay. So now, let's see, as it is harassing, is this one state or is it two states? Oh, let's draw this arrow. So, we receive an arrow, or we receive an order, now we're rallying. Eventually we get to the rally point, and I think we can stay in this state if we've like arrived at the rally point and we're like, okay, cool, just stay here. So harassing should be like we're moving into the room and then maybe just standing still. I think we're going to end up with two states because we need to think about formations, and I'm excited to write this code. Basically, we can't all just like pile up because then we're going to end up trapping creeps, and they're going to end up like not being able to move and getting targeted down by towers. And so I think we need to do like a checkerboard formation where like they'll stand still in a checkerboard, but then they can easily like move between the gaps of that checkerboard. So let's maybe call this like moving to harass. Well, or maybe we can say like harassing moving. We've kind of got a hierarchical state machine. I had a lot of meetings at work today, y'all. I can't talk anymore. Okay, and then harassing standing ground. So yeah, basically we're going to move from here to here, from here to here, and then we have a retreating state. Retreating is important for many reasons that you can already guess, but I think we need to be able to move to a retreating state from either of these. So let's see, you might, yeah, like maybe it's moving into position, but it just gets super hard even before it gets to its rank where it should stay put. So it just moves straight to here. Otherwise, maybe it stands still, it absorbs a bunch of damage, now it's time to retreat. So once it's done that, now we need to decide, and this is like higher level strategy. The naive implementation of this is every harasser creep absorbs damage, heals, and then as soon as it's ready, it just goes right back out. And so we would basically move like straight to here. But you could probably imagine a more clever implementation where after we've retreated, or we go from retreating to rallying. So basically you get out of the room, you get out of the harassing room, so it's no longer dangerous, supposedly. You end up in the rallying room, and then at that point you can just go rally with everybody else again. And that would let us do things like the army could tell everybody what state to be in, right? So the army order could either be rally or harass. And that way we get like an entire wave of creeps moving in all at once, and then eventually they retreat, but once they're all healed up again, boom, the entire wave goes in again. I feel like the trade-off there though is that like it may take us a long time to heal, and so if we're waiting for everybody to heal up to max, that might give the opponent enough time to like restock the energy in the towers. And so maybe we actually want to optimize for just like as much throughput as possible, keep harassing even if it's just one, because we know that way the tower is expending its energy. Let's see. Everyone says, I think that would depend on enemy strategy and how much total firepower they can output, i.e. if they can kill your harasser before it can escape. If all damage focused, then you may group more, but otherwise you give time to replenish guns and to make a creep response. Yeah, really good point. Like, and maybe that's something we can even measure, right? Like, we pick one of these or the other as the naive implementation, but then we need a way to kind of like recognize which one makes sense for this particular enemy room, because maybe they're just like so powerful that we have to send in a wave at a time in order to like actually like sustain a siege, or maybe we don't need to. Cool. Maybe ideal to even set up combat healer role that goes with harassers to extend the total firepower calculation in your favor. Yes, so we'll definitely have like a healer. Oh, I see. So this is maybe like we would send that combat healer into the harassing room. Maybe we should call this the enemy room. So we would send it in, but like it wouldn't, it would stay back so that presumably their code would be like, okay, whatever hostile creep is closest to me, go and attack that. Yeah, that could be kind of cool. Well, so let's start with the simpler approach where, you know, we've got one roll in here, and kind of see how that does. And then I think we can expand it to introduce some of those other ideas. I like that. Okay, cool. So I think we've got our states now. Oh yeah, which of these? So we've got to decide which of these arrows to choose. I think we want this one basically. So retreating means it'll go back into this room. Retreating will recognize that it's healing. Maybe that should be its own node or its own state. Yeah, let's. I'm on the fence about this. Like maybe healing should be its own dedicated state, or maybe retreating can just include that. Let's say that retreating includes it. So basically, like retreating means going back to the rally point, and once we're at full HP, then we're ready to go back in. And I think that should work great. Okay, sweet. So let's see. I'm going to be kind of aggressive about like deleting some of this stuff. Let's see. We are going to need a little bit of boilerplate though. So we need to know the current state, and we need to know the previous state, like the state from the previous tick. So that's what that is. So this will include, you know, waiting, rallying, retreating, that kind of stuff. Let's see. Marvin says, defending of remote rooms is usually minimal as the benefit is low, and home rooms provide a far better distribution of power in favor of the defender. Therefore, you often won't need rallying rooms. Healing is also pretty effective, so maybe instead of retreating to heal, retreat when overwhelmed. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, well, and I think you're right that like we don't need to use the harassing strategy on remote rooms. Like we can probably just charge in with like 2 or 3 attackers and just take the room. So harassing really just applies with home rooms. But yeah, healing, pretty effective. Yeah, so do we just retreat when we're overwhelmed? Maybe. And maybe we can even get clever about like, we're not just we're not retreating all the way out of the room. Maybe there's even an extra state we add later that's like falling back. So the army knows how to load balance where the towers are firing. And so we can make the assumption that whatever is closest to their base will absorb the damage. And so we can kind of like rotate them that way. And that way, yeah, I mean, assuming that's how their code works, it may not be, depending on the enemy. But that's like a thing that we could totally do as well. And then we don't retreat out of the room until we're overwhelmed. Cool. So let's see. I don't even know if I need other memory than this. We might be good. So let's say const machine harasser memory. Oh, and I think, okay, I've just been calling this the name itself without including role as a prefix. That's cool. Sounds very effective. Awesome, thank you. Yeah, I think this should be cool. Let's see. So we're making our state machine, and all of this is just about to move into there. So, let's see. In order to have our state machine, we need our initial context. So this basically creates the state for the very first time. So we're going to say the starting state should be waiting. The previous state should be null because we didn't, like, it's not coming from anything. and then the states that exist. Oh, and let's, there's a little bit of boilerplate here that we'll need to have. So let's see, we've got waiting, rallying, harassing, moving, and then harassing, standing ground. Yeah. And then retreating. Retreating. There we go. Cool. And hopefully after we've implemented this, this is going to be pretty apparent that we can kind of see this structure inherent in the code. And this is for all of you that maybe have not moved to state machines yet for the way that you're running your creeps. I would say definitely consider it because as soon as you're able to diagram things out like this, and as soon as you're able to package up the work that gets done in each of these actions, basically like this is one function and this is one function. Then as soon as you start having bugs, it becomes a lot easier to debug it because you can say, oh, there's a bug, but I know it's in this smaller function rather than like the whole thing. You know, instead of my like 200 line code to do all of the things for the harasser role. And sometimes it's actually in when you choose to transition. So anyway, that's a cool thing. I'll get off my soapbox about that now. Okay, we need to relearn how this army stuff works. So we've got get army. Yeah, look at that. Oh, what is rally? Look at that, we already have an action for rally. Get rally flag. Oh yeah. Okay, so this, you can probably see that like this was relying on an older version of my code where it was a little bit manual, right? The idea is that whenever I wanted to attack a room, I would manually place a flag and say, this is your rally point, army. So go rally here and then attack from there. But we don't really want to do that now. Like we want to tweak that. I think I want to change how this works now. I think we need a way to say, let's see, I'm going to say like type army order. So it might be like rally. And then this should be like a position, which is an I room position. Basically, just having an enum is not enough. We've outgrown this because we need to persist the state of like which room are we rallying in and which like XY coordinate within that room are we going to be rallying. I'm actually gonna, so this is the sort of thing I would do at work, right? I would actually like version it with a number, and eventually we're gonna tear out army order v1. Like that's just not gonna be a thing anymore. But yeah, let's go ahead and do that. It looks like there are only the only two roles that actually rely on this. Let's maybe search for army order. Okay, there's a few more. No, attacker, harasser, an empire, army. Okay, this should actually be small enough that we can just rewrite this. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. So our army order, we're going to change this to a type, a union type. And I'm going to keep this around as a comment because this will kind of help us define it. And I think we know rallying should be 1. Delete that. And then we want type let's call it harass. I think we'll be more clear about it. And let's say rally position. There should be a rally position and then a harass position. And, you know, maybe we'll start out with like manually choosing these two positions, but then eventually we can get clever about placing them in an automated way. And then they'll know, okay, cool, we rally here, we harass generally around here. And then I think we can have attack. And then it can be, I think this can be simpler. It can just be like room. Maybe we'll say room name to be clear. And let's, maybe we'll actually be explicit about like, we're harassing a room. I don't know. I don't think that's needed. What I'm thinking about right now is the point that Marvin made earlier, which is that we're going to want other army orders for like go raid an enemy's remote room. Like don't destroy their containers, like let's take advantage of those, but like destroy their creeps, keep attackers in the room in case they come back so we can like keep attacking them. And we can like defend the sources that we've just claimed. Claimed is an overloaded word. We can maintain the sources that we have commandeered. But yeah, that can be its own army order eventually. Okay, sweet. So I think we can get rid of that other stuff for now. And let's see. Yeah, we've like broken these other things. These are all like kind of convenience methods to set things. Got that. Over here, we've got army order right here, so we should be able to save that. And let's see, attacker. How big is attacker? It's not huge, but like I don't want to spend too much time like rewriting it just yet. I'm gonna be super lazy, and I'm just gonna do this. Haha! The attacker role does not exist. And we'll come back to it. Okay, so we need to define the harasser role. We need to kind of re-implement army. I think, yeah, there's some logic in here for like waypoint flags. I think we have probably outgrown that concept as well. It really should be like, go to the rally point and just make sure to hit these rooms on the way. So yeah, let's skip that for now and eventually we'll delete it. Okay, so in that case, I think we're ready to rewrite harasser. So we've got get army right here. So when we are waiting, we're going to say get army dot get order. Oh, and guess what? We need an order that's like none. Type do nothing, or maybe just none, something like that. And we need to be able to say, let's see, how do we initialize it? Yeah, right here we should say order is army order. Oh no, it's just primitives now. So we're initializing to none. Like there's no army order to begin with. So that looks good. And then we can say if order dot, let's see. Maybe do like a, if order dot type is rally, there's this, okay, I've like split my logic a little bit. Oh, I know what it is. Okay, we're gonna rally, but if the army is not in a harass state, we'll just never do this transition. That's how that'll work. Cool. Let's see, Marvin says, do you have a GitHub repo for your bot? Also, what's your in-game name? So I don't have, let's see, my GitHub repo is private for now. I'd be down to make it public later, if y'all are interested. Yeah, I could do that. I'll do that like later tonight after the stream, but yeah, in the meantime, my in-game name is ADJ90. And these days I am in Shard 3. In Shard 3. Here we go. So, yeah, go and look me up there. You can see what I'm up to. Dollar Akshay and myself are teaming up, so we've got some fun stuff in the works. And actually, this harassing strategy is going to be part of that, so it should be cool. So if it is rally or if it is harass, then we're going to return return rallying. Otherwise, just chill. And so that should work. Okay, and then as we're rallying, we're going to get the order once again, and we're going to say, let's see, what do we need to do here? So we need to move into position, and we need to say, if in position, check if we should harass yet. Yeah, I think that's it, basically. Oh, you know, so we're making things a little bit complicated here because, like, moving is a bunch of work, but then knowing whether we're in position is a little bit of work. So I think we actually want another state here. So I think rallying should actually represent like standing still as part of the rally. So this should be moving to rally. So here is the updated states. Moving to rally. Notice, by the way, like I'm going to get back on my soapbox. Here I go. But notice how the state machine has helped me think about this, right? Like as I pseudocoded this out, I realized, oh, this should be two states, not one. And so I broke it out, very quickly made the visual modification, and it's going to be pretty easy now to make this other change as well. So this is now rallying. So now, let's see, move into position. And then it's really just going to be then rallying. So let's see. If order.type is equal to rally or order.type is equal to harass. Oh, so let's see, these, the shape of the data is a little bit different here. Notice how, which I think is good. Well, I don't know, it's easy enough to change this, but basically, we have to consider both of these cases here. We should say creep.move to, and I think, oh, within the same room. Okay. Cool. Sorry, I just skipped around. Is in room. So I've got a helper function for is in room. Order.rally position. So if we're not in the room, oh yeah. So if we're not in there, then we should say go to room. Let's see, and if we are in the room, I think we need a way to say like we're close enough to the rally position that like now we're rallying. So let's maybe say like rally max distance, something like that. And let's make it like 6 units for now. Totally picked that kind of arbitrarily. We can tweak it later. So we should say if we are in the room, I want to say creep.get get range to? Yes, that's what we want. Order.rally position. Oh, and that's it, yeah. Isn't it? Oh, and it wants an X and Y, okay. Order rally position dot Y. So if that range is greater than the rally max distance, then we should say creep.move to order.rally position. Oh, and we're gonna have to do the same thing. So that's fine. Okay, so if we're in the room, but we are far away, move to it. Let's do that. Okay, let's actually, I'm gonna rewrite this. And this will make it easier to do an early return. So I've inverted this, right, to say, we're within range now. Yeah, we're within range, so go ahead and stop here. You're rallying at this point. So I think that should be good now. There is like a weird state where for whatever reason, like we've lost our order. So maybe what we do, if it's not rally and it's not harass, then we're confused at this point. So we're going to return back to a waiting state. But now at this point, we know when we run this code that this is true, and so TypeScript knows that this exists. So that's cool. Go TypeScript. Okay, so I think this state is finished now. By the way, I'm going to save this. So now let's write rallying. And I think the way this will work is if the order type is harass. Oh, and by the way, I guess what I just did is I created this state change, right? So we're rallying. When should we go to this, right? If order.type is harass, then we're ready to, yeah, then that's it. We'll just say return harassing moving. Otherwise, just stay put. That's cool. Okay. Harassing, moving. Yeah, so this is going to be the fun one. Then we should say if is in room order dot harass position dot room name. Then this is where get into formation somehow. And I think there should be like a checkerboard thing going on. So we'll figure that out. Else go to room. Order, harass, position, room name. Okay. So that should work. Let's just build this kind of naively first. Is in room, I believe, is going to... Yeah, it's got this logic of like, if it's in the room border, it doesn't actually count as in the room just yet. So maybe we can just call that good for now. So I'm going to say harassing standing ground. I don't know. I think that's that's gonna fall down, I think. How do we want to do this? Let's maybe do like so I'm gonna make a function in here for oh hey, I think the server may have disconnected for a sec. Yeah, we're good. So I'm gonna say is in harassing formation. And you know, eventually this is gonna get implemented. So if we are in harassing formation, then we can return harassing standing ground. So at this point, we've moved into position, we've moved into position. We know where we want to be. We're going to stand there. That's cool. Hey, James, welcome. You made it. Good to have you with us. Safe one. Something like flood fill on the rally position that targets only even spaces should fill out from that point. Then something to ensure healers are near the back of that formation, or even spread in between, like every third spot or something. Yeah, I think so. I think we'll be doing something like that. We probably need a way for like, yeah, we'll need to pick a position. It's also possible that like one creep like picks a position, but then some other creep is already there. So it might be the army's job to like negotiate that. Maybe it actually like centrally holds a data structure of like, these are the creeps that are currently in formation. And so you can go and look up what their points are so that you can like pick a spot that isn't one of those. So let's see. Oh, and you know, we probably don't even need to have like formations. We probably just need to have like a map of like true false essentially, or a set of like basically like this, an array of like this creep is standing ground, this creep is standing ground, this creep is standing ground, and then creeps can just like add or remove themselves, and that would probably be enough. Marvin, wouldn't flood fill be super expensive? I feel like there are other options. Yeah, I think there probably are. Flood fill. Well, so let's see. Flood fill requires knowing all of the terrain, right? Let's actually go look this up. Screeps plus. Where is it? Let's actually do Screeps plus wiki. What? Yeah, Screeps plus Wi-Fi. How do I get on the Wi-Fi? And what I'm looking for is flood fill. Take me to flood fill. Is useful for defining or testing areas to make sure they are secure, like walls around a base, or defining areas into groups. Filling an area and gathering room positions allows you to... Let's look at the picture to inspire us. Okay. And let's look at the algorithm really quick. Oh, yeah, okay. I like this visual. This is great. So I think probably what we can do is, like, instead of implementing all of flood fill, let's basically just say, and let's go back to Excalidraw for this. Here's our room. And here's the harass point. And I'll color that red, right? So this is the enemy room, and this is like we're coming into this direction. We'll add a few of these. Boom, boom, boom. Let's see. If you're telling a bunch of units move to this general area, you're really just saying first unit move to the rally position, next unit, if the top left is open, move there, otherwise try top right, and so on. Yes, we are, sort of. I don't want to hard code in like what those positions are, because like terrain is going to mess that up, buildings are going to mess that up, and we might find that like we do one formation and then we don't like it, and so we want to tweak it, and so I want to have like an algorithm to actually define what's available, and it may be as simple as just like take this 9 square neighborhood. But I think we basically got like this area. It did not turn out to be square. Okay, there we go. So let's see. We'll make this like... Can you see that really? I don't know. So we start to kind of expand out from there. I'm getting bored of copy pasting these, so I'm going to shrink my outer box to make this diagram correct. But yeah, like you get the idea. I think this should work great. So let's see. So if we are in harassing formation, stand ground. Yeah, should we go ahead and implement this then? No, let's get the like really high level stuff first. So basically, I'm not gonna build this yet. I'm just gonna build like get close to this, and that'll be good enough. So let's pass in order harass position. And then we'll say else creep.move to order.harass position. Oh, right, we need a .x, .y. Okay, so we need to define that. And to make this fancier, based on our diagram, so let's say if creep dot position dot get range to that. Oh, then return true, else return false. Okay, so, oh, no. We want to say, I don't know, what should this max distance be? Should we make it 4? Hey chat, what should this number be? Everybody pick a number. Spam that number in the chat. Everybody's like, shut up, Andrew. That's not engagement. 0. Okay, thank you for your input, James. It will be logged with the other value input. Cool. Depends on the size of army, so like half size of army. Yeah, great point. And remember, this is just temporary. We're going to end up throwing away all that code that we just saw. So, okay, if we're in the room, then if we're in harassing formation, then stand ground, else try to move to that position, and then return null. So stay in the... Okay, so I think that looks good for harassing moving. Thanks, glad to know I did like a very small part. This, yeah, distance of 0 should work great for an army size of 1. Which I think was the US Army's motto for a while, Army of 1. So yeah, we're living that out right now. Okay, so this is where we got some kind of silly, like, yeah, this, basically this older code should be able to be cut and pasted up into here. So notice how we've got a function, creep needs to retreat. Oh, we should make this a constant. Let's say like hits ratio, maybe like hits to retreat, hits percentage to retreat. Yeah, so cleaning up as we go, right? So that looks good. I don't see why we will ever want to do that. Let's get rid of that. Okay. So creep needs to retreat. So we're going to say if the creep needs to retreat, then we will return retreating. Else, return null. It's an amazing little function right here, isn't it? Okay, now I'm trying to remember. I've already forgotten how this interaction was going to work. Oh, we should also implement this arrow right here. This is an important one. So we should say if the creep needs to retreat, return retreating. Just bail out early. Okay. So what do we do when we're retreating? And by the way, I'm ready to start deleting some of this stuff. I think that can all go. rally. What is, yeah, oh yeah, and I think rally pretty much can just go away. That whole module can just go. Yeah, check that out. Siege room equals this. You know, that. My Git says, yeah, you made this commit on January 1st, 2019. Back in the day. Hey, that was on New Year's Day. I was playing this on New Year's Day in 2019. How fun is that? It was on my Christmas break. Nice. Let's see. Save form. My problem is I dislike doing small hacky things to make it work for now. So like write basic calling code. I would try to make an entire logistic request system. And this as well. I'm learning the language. Yeah. Yeah, it's a... Like, yeah, you got to kind of balance it, right? Like, you want to get something done. You don't want to get too little done so that... so it's not interesting or so that it's, like, so inefficient. But at the same time, like, yeah, if you try to build out your whole, like, logistic request system, then you might end up just getting stuck. So, definitely trade-offs. And to be honest, like Screeps programming is like that, but so is like professional programming. Like doing it at work is kind of the same way, where it's like, let's get the basic thing done. We call it the minimum viable product, or the MVP. Build the MVP, get that out the door, ship it to customers, and like see how they like it. And then you'll get feedback really quickly about like, okay, I don't like this, I don't like that. And then you know where to spend your time, right? Then you know the bottlenecks, or you know the, like what they really want. So kind of cool. Okay, this also has logic for dismantling, which is cool. So let's actually just do this. I'm just gonna say like to do add logic for dismantling. Yeah, but in the meantime, I don't mind just deleting all this. And that can also go. That should be fine. Well, no, eventually I'll use it, whatever. Okay, so now we've just got to figure out retreating. And I think retreating... Oh, cool. So Safe One says, for Screeps, I'm learning TypeScript, although I'm still in school. And I've mostly worked in C++, though have minor experience in Python. Awesome. Also. Yeah, that's awesome. That's a really good collection of languages to know. Let's see. We're going to go from retreating straight to harassing moving. So we want to say move to the rally point. And then if full health, transition to harassing moving. Are there any easy languages to learn for Screeps? Been trying to learn JavaScript with zero luck. I would say like well, so other people can chime in. My impression is that JavaScript is the most kind of first-class language in Screeps. The game's originally written in JavaScript. There's lots of docs out there for JavaScript, for Screeps. So I mean, I would probably choose Screeps, or I would choose JavaScript first to learn Screeps that way. I'm tripping over my words, man. And then if you're really excited about like focusing on a language after you've already learned a few, then there's all sorts of directions you could go. And the like the Screeps Discord is really awesome for that. There's like a whole bunch of different channels in the Discord server for like playing Screeps in different languages. We gotta move to the rally point. So we want to say if is in room. Oh, we need the we need the order right here. And I guess there's probably a weird case in here where, like, if we're not harassing, then like go back to waiting, I guess. all roads sort of lead back to waiting. But then at this point we should be able to say order.rally position. If we're not in there, then we're going to say go to room. Oh, whoops, I need to say rally position dot room name. Then go to that room. Let's see. And then there's like this whole max distance thing, right? How did we do that? Moving to rally. Yeah, right there. So we want to reuse this basically. So let's say creep in rallying formation. And this will probably end up getting fancier as well. But essentially it's this right here. Creep. Okay, so we've... Oh, whoops. Skipping around again. So we get the range to that. If it's less than or equal to that rally range, or rally max distance, then we are in rallying formation for now. Yes. Okay. So we like that. Okay, and now that we've extracted it, it's easy to reuse it. You can say if we are in the room, if we are in rallying formation, and right here I'm going to say if we're in rallying formation. Oh, no, right here we actually have to say creep.move to order.rally position.x, order.rally position.y. So we're moving towards that formation. So we're moving there, and then we need to say creep. Oh, how do I say full health? Creep is full health. And I guess really it's just this, right? If the current hits is equal to the hits max. So if we are full health and we're in this state, then we're ready to go back in. Say harassing moving right here. Cool. Okay. So I think, and this state machine is a little bit tall. The cool thing though is that each individual state has a function that's really pretty short, so we can still reason about it. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to finish up how this behaves. So we're going to say run creep state machine, creep machine, roll harasser. Cool. There's that. All right, and I think we are good here. Next thing we need to check is, here's our medic. Okay, and medic already has a bunch of stuff. Needs healing. Yeah, some of this is gonna have to get better. This may turn out to be super inefficient, but this will definitely get us up and running. The thing I'm worried about, and actually we need the medic to rally, right? That needs to exist. So let's just come over here. I think we basically just have this. Healing, and then we can basically move to and from these states. And you could probably move back to here. Yeah. Okay, so let's say, and let's actually put the harasser on this other side. Machine, state machine, medic memory. And we'll run all that stuff. Run state machine. And don't worry, this isn't going to be too bad. We can pretty much copy paste a bunch of this. Let's say states, and states is going to include waiting, moving to rally, and basically rallying. We need interface medic memory to exist, and that is going to look like this. Cool, cool. And what I'm doing is I'm just retyping some stuff so that all the imports get there. Notice how I do want to reuse this though. So let's go ahead. Where's army defined? Oh, army's defined on the root. Gross. Okay, we are going to make a new folder. Well, let's see. It is nested under Empire, so let's actually put it in there. So army is going to go in there, and we're going to call this like util.rallying.ts. So this is where we'll have all of our handy helper functions for this stuff. So we'll pull this out of here. Put it in here. And what this means is that when we're ready to make this fancier, as we've stated in our comment, we'll be able to do it in a way that like everybody benefits from it. Like all of our combat roles that are calling this will be able to get the same improvement to their logic. So let's see. Did I? Yeah, I exported it. So I'm just going to retype it, and now we've imported it again. That's cool. Okay. Let's see, what's the next step? Got this. Okay, we can save this. Now we can import it over here. That's there. Go to room, exists. Okay, sweet. So our medic roll then, it's going to start by waiting. Then I'll say, oh, I need to move to rally. It'll go to the room, get into the rallying formation. Okay, then right here we're going to say healing. And this is the part where we can just put this here for now. We've already got that kind of abstracted. Okay. So sweet, we've made a bunch of changes. Let's find out if our code compiles at this point. Wait for it. Cool. Okay, so all of our TypeScript errors are gone. We've handled all that. Now we need to test if this thing really works. So let's see. We're gonna need. We're gonna have to script this a little bit. So let's say. We'll just say like one-off scripting. Harassing. Okay, so we're gonna say game.spawns.spawn1.create harasser. We'll do that, and we'll also create a couple of medics. We also need to say, how do we get the army? Is there a way to do it from the Empire? I'm looking for like a utility kind of function. Yeah, here we go. Creep.army. Okay, sweet. So we can say creep.army, paren. And then I want to be able to say, harass. And we're gonna rally position and harass position. And then we're gonna say memory.empire.army.order is equal to type harass. There we go, and that's it. We just chuck everything into there. Too bad there. Save that. Let's see, so we need to define what that should look like. Let's see, where, I think we already chose a place, didn't we? Were we just going to harass from the home room down into the room below it? I think we were. Maybe that's not a great test, though. Let's maybe say, like, this is the rallying room, and then this is the harassing room. Let's come over to here. Ooh, that is cramped in there. So let's say, like, this is our rally position. Something like that. Okay, so it's room name is West 8 North 2. X. Let's see, it's 4113. 4113. Right? Yeah. Okay. So that is our rally position. And then we need our harass position. And that's going to look pretty similar. We just need to change those values. So that should be west 7, north 2. Oh, and that is cramped as well. Let's like head into this kind of area. So we'll say 3, 20. Okay. And then let's actually just combine this into a single whatever. We're gonna combine it into a one-liner. So there's that. Okay, so we can give the command to harass those parameters. We can create harassers, create medics. We should actually get started on this right away. Hey, paste. -3, I think, means that like we can see the spawn new upgrader, so it's probably like in the progress of spawning. Yeah. Okay, so we'll have to wait just for a minute. Oh no, this is it. Look, it succeeded at that. So it probably ran the first one and then it failed on the second one, because for whatever reason it copied it in twice. So that's doing its thing. It doesn't have any instructions yet. So let's go ahead and issue this order. So that'll be a thing. Looks like that's all refilled now, so that's awesome. Let's now spawn a medic. Boom. This is our guy, right? Yeah. Awesome. And it's doing some really weird pathing right now. You can see how it's kind of all over the place. That's something that we're going to have to fix. But for now anyway, we can make it work. This body is also not very optimized. Let's go and check if there's a way we can make that better. So we're RCL4, yeah. Screeps tools. And hopefully we can just knock this out. So I want like 2 heals and 2 moves. So can I do that from 4? Yes, I can. Oh, look at that. I can even do it from like 3. Okay, great. So let's say else if energy capacity is greater than or equal to capacity 3. Then we'll copy that in, move, heal, heal. And that's, yeah, eventually I think what we can do is make a function that just says like repeat move, heal, move, heal, move, heal, move, heal forever until you can't. So we'll, wait a minute. Yeah. I'm noticing how, okay, medics actually have like tough parts when it gets bigger, so that's cool. I think maybe we should add that later as well, but we'll get there. Not to fear. And this is some other worker. It looks like it's a harvester, probably. Cool. This is great. Everything's just working. It's doing its thing. Let's see, so that's there. Okay. And then we should make one more harasser. Once that finishes up. Yeah. Oh good, yeah. We had enough energy for it. Okay, so we got some creeps that are doing their thing. At this point, I think our first harasser might already be in position. Okay, I think that's an explorer that is having a problem. But yeah, here's that. And it's, within range of that thing. So that's cool. Okay, Now, we're going to hit a problem. We're already kind of hitting a problem, which is that we want to see this move through the states in its state machine, but it's not going to do that unless it gets attacked, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to intentionally spawn. We're going to define a creep roll that all it does is attack our own units. It's going to be very silly. It's just going to kind of blindly do that. And we will tell it, like, find my creeps in the room and filter down to just the harassers. So, like, if for whatever reason, like, there's an explorer wandering around because crazy things have happened, then, like, it'll filter that out. But yeah, we want it to attack these so that we can see them bounce back and forth. And we can see all of the medics do their thing. So you can see they're piling up right here. They're ready to heal. So that's pretty cool. Here's this other harasser. Okay, so let's hurry and do that. We're gonna define this new role. What are we gonna call this? Like friendly fire? Friendly fire tester or something? Let's call that. Okay, so we have a role friendly fire tester. And that is a creep roll. It's silly, but I'm going to change these double quotes to single quotes. We've got that. Now we need to say get role name, turn friendly fire tester, get body. Yeah, so what should this be? We're level 4. Should we do... Let's do ranged attack, right? Yeah. So we'll grab that. We'll do some... Oh, wait, what have I done? I've got an array instead of an array. Get rid of that. Okay, and then run. We'll need another state machine for this, but this one should be pretty simple, I think. And you know what? I'm going to get lazy here. This is an FFT memory. I can't do that. FFT is like a thing that actually exists. That's the fast Fourier transform in signal processing. I don't know if y'all are like involved in like image processing, audio processing. That's like a thing that exists. Friendly fire tester memory. Okay. So we've got that. We need to have like a defend position. And we'll default it to null. So that's that. So then what we'll do is we'll make a state machine with that memory inside. And then we will run the state machine. Role friendly fire tester. Okay, and then initial context is going to be state waiting. I think it's basically like waiting, traveling, defending. Previous state is null. Defend position is also null. Okay. So we've got our waiting state. context. And we're going to say if context.defend position, then we're ready to transition into traveling. Else return null. So that's that. Then there will be a traveling state. And then context. And I guess we'll have to say if there's not a defend position, go back to waiting. Else, if we're not, well, no, if we are in the room, yeah, if we are in the room, context.defend position.room name, then that's great. We can return defending. If we're not in the room, then we should say go to room, context.defend position.room name. Oops, that's not syntax. Oh, and hey, we have to pass in the creep, so our functions will do the thing. And then return null. Right, so traveling is basically like, okay, if suddenly there's no position to defend anymore, then we'll wait again. If we're already in the room, then we'll start defending that room. Otherwise, go to that room and just keep on traveling. So that's that. Okay, and now let's define defending. And this is the fun one. This is going to be real interesting. And we can say if for whatever reason that's not there, we would want to say like if not is in room, creep, comma, that. Then we're going to return traveling. So this basically handles those other state changes that are probably not going to happen, but it makes the TypeScript compiler happy, and it like gets rid of any weird edge cases that could happen in the future. Okay. So now what we need to do is find friendly creeps to attack. And this should return an array of creeps. So I think this should be creep.room.find my creeps. And then we're going to add a filter. So we need to filter out, like this creep needs to filter out itself. You can't, it doesn't make sense to attack yourself. And we should probably have like roles to attack. Yeah, I guess it'll figure out its type. Harasser. So I'm not going to add medic here just yet. That's something we can test later. But we'll say, yeah, only attack harassers. Found creep. So let's see, we should say found creep is not equal to the creep that we're, like this creep that we're attacking from. And found creep.memory.role. Oh yeah, then we should say roles to attack that includes that. Okay. And we'll just format that nicely. Let's see, my curly braces are not adding up. There we go. Okay, so I think that should give us all of our harassers in the room. So so then what we can do is we can say find friendly creeps to attack. Creeps to attack is that. And then I'm gonna be super lazy right here. I'm just gonna say the target is the very first one that comes back from the array. And I guess there is a state where length is 0. So that's fine. If that happens, we'll just return early, but we'll stay in the same state. Probably what we'll do is creep.move to context.defend position. So it's like, okay, there's nobody to attack right now, so just go puppy guard that area until somebody comes back in. Okay, so then we should be able to say creep.ranged attack target, and I guess ranged attack probably has a couple different return values here. So it could succeed or it could fail. Not in range, yeah. Let's say const result equals this. And if the result is equal to error not in range, right? Error not in range, yeah. If that happens, then we'll say creep.move to target. Cool. Okay, I think that's it. That is our friendly fire tester. It's very silly, but it's going to do great. How are these guys doing? They've got 500 ticks to live. So we'll have to spawn some new attackers and harassers. So let's see. Friendly fire tester. Oh, and I just remembered that we defined the role here, but we haven't actually wired it up yet. So let's go ahead and add that. Friendly fire tester. Role friendly fire tester. Okay, sweet. So that's been included. Now that should all exist. Let's make sure, yeah, our code is compiling. And now we can go over here and create one. That looks good. That'll take a minute to build or to spawn. We need to pick a defend position. So let's defend like right here-ish. So 6, 9, yeah, 7, 19, something like that. So it'll be like game.creeps something .memory.role friendly fire tester .defend position is equal to this room position uh, 719. Cool. Okay, so let's go back home. We'll go find that. And I think, yeah, here it is right here. Okay, friends, we're just about to find out if this works. So, run this. This should now be traveling, good. And it is going to end up in that room and it's going to start attacking for us. And it should be very fun. One thing that I think maybe we want to do, notice how there's a glitch happening right now. Notice how like this creep is kind of stuck. And that's because there's just a weird bug in my go to room helper. So what I'm gonna do for now, I'm actually just gonna move the harass position. So it's 320 right now. Let's maybe move it like all the way up to here, like 314. And so that way they kind of have to move up in order to get closer to it. But this, I think like now that we're seeing this glitch where it's like coming in and going out, and by the way, that's happening here as well. Like we're gonna need to solve this. Oh, are we? This is interesting. Like I wonder if this is actually a bug with like where it's choosing to stand. Oh, it's probably, it's already in the standing ground position. That's our problem. Okay, so let's actually, we're gonna hard code this for a second to get it back into a good state. So we'll say dot state is equal to, what is it? Harassing moving. Okay, so now that creep should no longer be standing ground. There we go. Okay, and look at this. It's working. Friendly fire. Wow. And I'm not sure what 80% is going to look like visually, but at some point we're going to hit that. Okay, there we go. It ran away. Marvin, had dinner and came back. You're still here. Damn. He made lots of progress. Hey, appreciate it. Yeah, so what you're seeing here, we've got, yeah, we made 3 state machines, actually. And notice how, there we go, that creep is running away. Go, buddy, go. Awesome. Ah. Oh, so, okay, that was interesting. Okay, now it's in. So he's running, he's gonna try to get into formation. And eventually it will get weak enough that it will retreat. Yep, there we go. Oh. Look at that. So there's actually a medic that's appearing in there. That's not good. Okay, cool, cool. This is why we're doing this. Yeah, oh shoot, look at that. A medic ended up all the way in this room. That's a big problem. We'll see how this does, though. This is funny. We're just watching them like wander around like crazy people. Yeah, oh, look at that. This is stable. So I guess 2 heals is more than 2 range attacks. Oh, this is cool. You're going for duo formations? No. So what you're looking at here is the naive implementation. Eventually the strategy is going to be this kind of checkerboard pattern. So we'll pick a spot in the middle that's called the harass position. And so then creeps will choose anything available on that checkerboard and stand ground there and then retreat from that when they get weak enough. And then we're going to do something similar probably with rallying in the rally room. So they'll end up standing over there, and that makes it easy for the medic creeps to move in between them. But in terms of like duos, you know, basically we're going to have one number of harassers and one number of medics, and they may not be the same. They're going to be decoupled from each other. So that's the idea there. Okay, so this is awesome. Like things are really stable at this point. There's some bugs, so I think we should go ahead and document those. But this is looking like a commit. So let's say harasser strategy. So we're going to say harassers can rally, stand ground, retreat, medics heal, and then we've got the friendly fire testers do their thing. Marvin, you'll appreciate this having just come back. So this is a role called friendly fire tester, and the way that it works is it goes into a room and then it defends that room, and it does it by finding friendly creeps to attack. And the way it does that is it says like, find my creeps in the room, filter out this creep, right? Don't attack myself. But then any of the roles to attack, which is currently just harasser, filter down to that. And so this is what integration testing looks like when we're testing combat. We're actually like building creeps to attack ourselves, and it's working. Like we can still see this thing doing its thing. And now that we have this kind of framework sitting here, we can start to do other cool things like actually attack harassers and medics, and like maybe even like prioritize medics. You know, like we can start to get clever here to handle the different cases that we might experience when we go into a real enemy's room. So that's cool. Hey, look, here goes an explorer. See, and like this ranged attacker is just kind of cheerfully ignoring it, and this is all doing its thing. So that's great. Okay, so we've done all this. So I'll mark that off. So I think we need to say implement better logic for rally harass formations, or let's just say like checkerboard logic for rally / harass formations. Medics need to stay in the rally room. And actually, we even need to say harassers should rally after, like, harassers should rally after retreating, then wait for max hits before going again. I think that's what that logic should look like. Okay. So, yeah, I think that looks really good. And I think, to be honest, like we can probably do all three of these next time. Like that seems doable in a single session. So we will we will leave all of these little creeps to do their thing. That is hilarious. And yeah, we can commit this. So, friends, we got some good stuff done. Yeah, we've started our harasser strategy on a good foot, and we'll polish it up a bunch more next time. I want to show you something before everybody goes, and that is this bad boy. So I've been talking about this for a while. You probably remember the breadboard version of this, but this is a musical device. This is called the Universal Traveler, and it's going to control vintage synthesizers from the 80s. So it's been living on a breadboard up until now. Let me show you what that looked like. But here's that over here. So what I'm doing is I'm actually soldering that down into a what is it called? A proto-perf board. So a lot of this is actually permanent. It's going to stay put there. And this is actually going to go in a rack mount cabinet in my friend's studio to make music. So yeah, this is taking shape. The display is not working yet. And I like the hardware for the display is not working. It works great on the breadboard, doesn't work here. So I'm going to have to troubleshoot that. It's going to involve probably some like getting out the multimeter and like checking that all of the connections are solid and that I actually like plugged it in the same way that I plugged it in over here. But hopefully that should all go smoothly and we'll have this working soon, which is going to be amazing. So, okay, let me put this back. Well, it's outside of the actual like rack mount enclosure. It's kind of fragile, so set it down gently. Yeah. So yeah, we'll talk about that soon. The other thing, let's see. Next week is spooky season, isn't it? It's gonna be spooktacular. So I think probably some of what we're gonna do next week. We're gonna maybe we'll do some Screeps next week, but the other thing that I'm gonna do is wait, hold on. What's the date on that? Yeah, Wednesday the 27th. Okay, so I've got a project coming up for Wednesday next week where a friend and I are going to set up a spook alley at work, and it's all going to be like synth-based and mad scientist-based and that kind of stuff. So we're going to drag all this stuff to work and plug it all in, and we're going to play like the Stranger Things theme and a bunch of other kind of like classic like mad scientist sort of songs. So we're going to do like Star Wars and Star Trek, even though I guess they're not mad scientists, but we're also going to do like Rick and Morty, and we're going to do Back to the Future, and I don't know, if you can think of any others, like let me know so I can start learning that song. But to go with that, we're going to bring in like the Philips Hue lights that we programmed in previous sessions. In case, I don't know, we might end up like doing other like little microcontroller stuff in order to control the room from the music. So that's some of what we'll be doing next week probably, is like making sure that that's all good to go, testing that out. I will probably not be playing the actual music from those themes, or else I might get copyright striked, and I'd rather not. But yeah, that'll be a cool chance to like double check everything's working correctly. So yeah, should be a fun session next week. So thanks again, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back in a week. Please hit the follow button if you're not already following. Like I would definitely appreciate you joining. Yeah, and hope to see you again next Tuesday, same time. Again, I'm Andrew. This is Code Gets Creative, and talk to you later.